This is Hkhs Sport bringing you that heat and that far. We keeping a foot on the what on the next. We keeping a foot on the what on the next. And like the Tibetan Mastiff that I am, I'm applying what? Unlimited pressure. Because pressure does what? It bursts pipes. Let's talk about it, man. I can't stop laughing at this stuff, man. So, this is what we boiled down to. I told you guys, man. Raveningwolves. I.e., what we would call Budmanfans, i.e. what we would call Jaron Boots Ennis fanboys, intermingling and masking themselves in sheep's clothing, i.e. fake as fuck Errol the True Spence fans. Errol the True Spence aged Chris Van Heeteren overnight 30 fucking years. Woo, if this shit came from Chris Van Heeteren, which I don't believe it did, I think it was manufactured from Errol the True Spence fake as fuck fans. If this shit came from him, then he's suffering what we would call advanced stage of CTE protocol. This happens, man. When you go 12 rounds with Errol the True Spence, you're not the same fighter. We saw the fight. We know what our true boxing eye test tells us. And what does the true boxing eye test tells us? That Errol the True Spence mangled Chris Van Heeteren. Beat the shit out of Chris Van Heeteren. So how is Jaron Boots Ennis, a guy that the fight stopped as a freaking draw, a guy that was tripping on himself, how is he more heavy-handed than Chris Van Heeteren? Did Chris Van Heeteren get dropped? Did Chris Van Heeteren fall to the damn ground? Did Chris Van Heeteren get bulldozed and steamrolled like Errol the True Spence did Chris Van Heeteren? We saw Chris Van Heeteren bend the proverbial effing knee up, and he kissed the ring while he was at it to Errol the True Spence. What did Jaron Boots Ennis do? I told y'all, man. They trying to get behind Jaron Boots Ennis. He's their next the Chihuahua walking behind the damn fence. Now Hkhs Sport is about to apply super unlimited pressure. Y'all done fucked up. Because now I'm about to clown Jaron Boots Ennis for a whole week. Yes, I said it. Jaron Boots Ennis is getting clowned for a whole week. He's on Hkhs Sports unlimited pressure list. Jaron Boots Ennis is their next Bud. We see this because they realize that Bud is Bud Crawford. We see this because they realize that Dud is Dud Crawford. They can't get behind Bud or Dud. So they're trying to build up Jaron Boots Ennis and hoping they can get boxing interviews from Jaron Boots Ennis. I told y'all, man. See, they done activated the Hkhs Sport Warpath mode. Genghis Khan. It was on pause for a little bit. Now it's back. See, you guys have to look at these so-called black community fan bases, and you have to ask yourselves underlying questions here. Why are they propping up a kid that hasn't proven shit? Errol the True Spence has proven a bunch. It's because they can't get Errol the True Spence to do what they want Errol the True Spence to do for them. So now they trying to get after somebody that they can't. They can't co-sign Bud because Bud is too busy being a modern Negro slave for Bob Arum. So they can't have him get behind him. So now they kissing Jaron Boots Ennis' ass. Jaron Boots ain't done shit. Last time I checked, he ain't even a contender. He's still a what? Prospect. Let me say it again. He ain't even a contender. He's still a what? A prospect. He still got Gary Antoine Russell issues to deal with. He still got Virgil Ortiz issues to deal with. So how is he in the likes of a Errol the True Spence? How can he handle the mighty Mononier or the Stormbreaker of Errol the True Spence? How can he handle the tactical aggression of Errol the True Spence? How can he handle the technical punching placement of Errol the True Spence? How can he handle the body snatching work, the levying on style, the punishment style of Errol the True Spence? Boxing fans, their boxing brains, a lot of them is shit. They don't have too much of a boxing brain. Because if they did, they would look at the dumbest things that's coming out of their mouth. And they have to ask themselves these underlying questions and the underlying truths. This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Now all of a sudden we're going to sit here and act as if Jaron Boots Ennis is something. He's a second coming. Second coming of what? In that fight, Chris Van Heeteren was touching his ass up. In that fight, he showed bad footwork. He showed that if he fights Errol the True Spence, he will be bulldozed. He will be fucking steamrolled. And that purple hair that he's wearing, Errol the True Spence will beat the purple hair out of his ass, man. Let me say it again. That purple hair that motherfucker like to wear, Errol the True Spence will beat the purple hair out of his ass. Y'all propping this kid up. And what you propping is a kid that's going to get bulldozed, a kid that's going to get steamrolled, and a kid that's going to get plowed through. There's levels to this stuff. There's gears. We seen with our true boxing eye test, you brain full of mush and you brainwash dodo heads, what Errol the True Spence did to Chris Van Heeteren. And we seen what Jaron Boots Ennis did. And the fact that Jaron Boots Ennis couldn't even demolish Chris Van Heeteren after Errol the True Spence mangled him, it was a things that make you say, It was a things that make you say, Why do you think He Knows the Sport lumps up the Chihuahua barking behind the damn fence with the young fucking pup? Because they're one and alike. They all the same. Errol the True Spence fights an opponent that they end up fighting after the fact, and they get lackluster after Errol the True Spence embarrassed these fighters, man. After Errol the True Spence mangled these fighters, after Errol the True Spence bulldozed these fighters, and after Errol the True Spence steamrolled these fighters. What's not cold-hearted about that? What's not unadulterated about that? And what's not the cutthroat truth-telling fashion? You fight fans, man. Something is wrong with you, Rudy Poo and Plum Plum Brains. Something is wrong with you, classic Dolce and Troglodytes. Something is wrong with you, ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric. The fact that you support this bullshit and fuck shit, it speaks more volumes of you than it does these content creators that's pushing this bullshit and fuck shit. Because if you have the true boxing eye test, you know that the Chihuahua barking behind the damn fence, and Bud was what he was, smoking fucking mirrors. And you know the young pup and Jaron Boots Ennis is what he is, smoke and fucking mirrors. Y'all propping these fighters up to step into the ring with Errol the True Spence just so he can bulldoze and steamroll and plow through these fucking fighters. That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat truth telling fashion. Boxing is in the gutter not only because of the fact that fight fans don't support the sport. Boxing is also in the gutter because of bullshit and fuck shit like this. We saw what Jaron Boots Ennis did against Chris Van Heeteren, and we saw what Errol the True Spence did against Chris Van Heeteren, and it's not adding up. It's a things that make you say, It's a things that make you say, I keeps the foot on the what on the Hkhs. I keeps the foot on the what on the Hkhs. This is He Knows the Sport. Check it out.